You're welcome back to The Pulse. Now, though there's been some education on autism, there's still a lot more that needs to be done in that regard. While some parents still keep their wards indoors to avoid being stigmatized, others are happy about they being exposed to the general public. A speech and language therapist, Mary Kofor, says parents must avoid hiding children with special needs and rather enroll them in schools to enable them improve upon their way of life and also help them acquire a skill for their future. Mary Kofor also highlighted some challenges encountered in bringing up such children when she spoke to Joy News at a function in Accra.
The family. Sometimes it's very difficult breaking this, news to the family, letting them know that you have a child with cerebral palsy or maybe Down syndrome or, any of those conditions. It's not easy, especially with autism. There's nothing in the, physically that shows it. Like most of the kids that you've seen here today, there's nothing to show on the outside. So it makes it difficult. And you have people walking to you, asking you if you want to, or you should go and see a pastor, somebody who can cure it. I have been to a lot of the prayer camps. I fasted, I did a lot of akwankyerɛ, hoping and believing that it will be cured. But I know that God in his own time, he will bring the miracle that we've been looking for. Like somebody told me yesterday, there are a lot of miracles happening around, but we are looking for the big ones. Miracles like my child not being sick. I haven't been to hospital with my daughter the whole of this year. I think it's a big miracle, something that I should be very grateful for. She can say her name, she can say mama, she can say hello. For over 12 years, she never said anything. I think that's another miracle. She can sit, in a place where there's a lot of noise. In the beginning, it wasn't like that. She could not even cope with noise. So I believe that there's a lot of miracles happening around, but it depends on how you see it. But for me as a parent, I think that we live but once. If this is what God has blessed you with, you have to find other ways of supporting that child. Because if you say that it is difficult for you, how much more that parent who has that child? Our children are very beautiful, just that they are not the perfect kids that society is looking for. They may not be doctors, they may not be teachers, they may not be what we want them to be, but there's something good in them. And we want to use this opportunity to celebrate parents, to celebrate the people that work with our kids, but more importantly, to also talk to the outside world, to embrace our kids with special needs. They are human beings first before they have the disability. So I think this is very important. Look at all the lovely kids that you've seen today. Okay, so if all these kids are not given the opportunity to go to school, they are not given the opportunity to make friends, they are not given the opportunity to socialize with other kids, then what are we talking about when we say that there's going to be inclusion and all that? They should take it one day at a time. But also, it is very good to belong to a support group. It's very good to know that you have a problem, but you are not alone. There's also somebody who got similar issue, and they can sympathize and empathize with you. I think that moral support is very important. More importantly, too, we don't have organizations supporting that. Nobody wants to put their money in disability, okay? People want to put their money where they give A and they see B results, okay? Some of these kids have been here for 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. They are still not talking. It took my daughter 13, 12 years to talk. So people don't really want to invest or support such kind of but for me it's a worthy cause. Calling up to the government, we're calling out individual organizations, philanthropies and all that, to come to our aid and support so that we'll be able to reach out to more parents.
Well, some parents have been sharing their experiences about handling children with autism with us.
I was in total denial. It was very devastating because that's my first child and she's the only child as of now. And I had to find parental support. I read a lot on the internet and autism is now treatable with early intervention. So far, her social skills are built up and her speech is emerging now. Yes, and it's all as a result of being in school. And I will entreat mainstream schools to accept the kids. And if they want to accept them with facilitation, because my daughter, for instance, she goes to school with a facilitator who helps her with regular schoolwork. So they do whatever is being done in school, but she has that one-on-one tuition with a facilitator. The challenge, I would say, is her attention. Getting her to sit down at one place for maybe 20 minutes. Yes, she can't stay without doing something. She has to do something. So what I do to keep her busy, once she has her colors, she has paper to do her painting, her colors, she can be down for an hour and she's there.
I mean, naturally, you'd want your child to come out completely well, but then for one reason or the other, it didn't come out too well as you expected. So you have some form of disappointment, but not necessarily discouraged. The only thing is that, yes, with this child who is not, there is some challenges. There are a number of difficulties you face, which you have to prepare for. I guess the shyness that many people face is because of our culture setup. Because, in the past, it's believed that once you have a child who is abnormal, then it's as a result of a curse or something that has gone wrong within the family, or because of something that the parent or somebody has done. That is why that thing had happened. So with that antecedent history, people tend to hide their children that have difficulties. But as we are growing as a country, we begin to understand that some of these things happen for one reason or the other, some of which nobody can really explain. So we accept that, well, that is what God has given. And so we face the challenge boldly and then come out. It is not because you have done something or somebody has done something in the family or somebody has failed to do something. That is why those things occur. So, I mean, for me, there is no need for people to be shy. So, yeah. So it's because I'm informed that it is not because of any negative happening within or outside the family that led to that. So once you accept that, then you can boldly come out with your child. And they should remember that there is help all over. So if you hide your child, whatever help is there for the child to get to improve, the child will not get.
Moving on to other news this afternoon, the president-elect may have been buying himself some more time in firming up his list of men and women who make up his administration. The lobbying has been intense for many positions, but one of the men tipped to be Speaker of Parliament, among other names, is former Sekondi MP, actually the MP for Sekondi, who is outgoing, Papo Nkrumah. In an exclusive interview with my colleague Kwame Boateng, one of the most experienced MPs in Ghana's Parliament says he's done with constituency work, but will fancy working as Speaker if and only if he's selected.
I'm sure I will mostly be remembered for the way I try to get the House to pull together. I'm by nature a consensus builder as much as possible. And I also believe that in the latter part of my years as an MP, I must have mentored some younger MPs. Okay, I believe that's life. As you lead, you must at least get some young people who will say that, well, we've learned some things from you. I believe that these are things that I will be remembered for.
I'm not in Parliament, but the information I have is that any time there was an issue, the Speaker would preferred consulting you, and what you say was a final decision. Is that accurate?
I don't really think so. I'm just a member of Parliament.
But he used to consult.
Not really consult. I mean, my contribution, at least I believe, taken very seriously by the entire House. That's what I can say. Not that the Speaker will consult me. No, probably once in a while he will solicit my opinion on a sticky issue to guide the House, so to speak.
Are you happy you are going to be the next Speaker of Parliament, as we have been told?
Oh, I don't think that anyone can say that I'll be the next Speaker. No. All I can say is that if I get the opportunity to serve my party as a Speaker or in another way, I will do it.
Are you looking forward to getting that position?
Looking forward, I'll be honored to get that position. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it. It's a decision of the party generally, including all the wings and so forth. And when the party decides, I'll be honored to serve.
Have you been contacted yet?
Well, I can't say that.
Are some consultations going on?
I wouldn't know.
Nobody has approached Papoose Uncle.
I wouldn't want to make any statement to that effect. All I can say is that in these things, it is the party's decision, and as a party person,
but how
decision. Yes,
How did you feel when you heard in the media or social media that you are among some people, Nana Akufo-Addo or your party will be considering for that position?
Well, I was struck with awe. I mean, really, not because I don't think I'm capable of doing it, but I felt that, well, really, if some members of my party considered me worthy of that position, then it's a great honor. It's a great honor. I've heard it. I've heard a couple of ask me. I've seen people comment on it in the media. But it's an honor. I mean, if you are being considered whatever, or people consider you worthy of that position, you should be honored. Should be honored.
The Bible says, ask and it shall be given you. So why don't you start lobbying? Or you've started already and we don't know?
Oh, I don't know about lobbying. The position of speaker is not like that of a position like a member of parliament where you contest, but so I wouldn't say that I've been lobbying. I mean, anyone who's asked me, I said, no, I'm willing to serve. That's all that I can say.
How differently are you going to operate in case you get that position? What will change?
You know what? I don't want to. I said I don't want to move into that. I mean, I have my style. Those who have worked with me, those who know me, know my style. I don't.
What's your style?
I'm a rather, I wouldn't say calm person. I try as much as possible to listen more, all right? Try to get people to understand each other, respect each other's views. That's the way I've operated as an MP and as a person for so long. And I think probably that is the way I'll continue to have.
Okay, and if maybe you were to be consulted about the criteria that should be used to select a speaker, what would be your criteria?
I wouldn't go to that. I wouldn't go into that. You have told me that you've heard whatever that my name hasn't been mentioned. I don't think it would be right for me to be talking about criteria. It's for those who are going to consider that will have to consider the criteria they will use. Right.
Usually, what criteria do they use?
I said, I'm sorry, I don't want to go into that. It will be as if I'm trying to promote myself or whatever. If my name had not been mentioned, probably I may have made some statements of criteria. But for now, I don't want to comment on that.
Okay. The current speaker, we are told, made you aware that since you live in Parliament, you are going to head the Parliamentary Training Institute. Is that accurate?
No, that is not accurate. Actually, there was a committee that was formed, chaired by the first Deputy Speaker. I'm just a member of that committee. I'm just a member of that committee.
So you don't know the one who will be heading that institute?
No, that decision will have to be taken by the Parliamentary Service Board and the Speaker when it comes to that, according to whatever discussions that we've had and the proposals that we've made. Yeah.
And how would you rate the outgoing Parliament? If you were to rate, how would you rate the outgoing Parliament?
Oh, as a matter of rating, I would say that, well, as regard institution building, every parliament is an improvement on the previous parliament because you've had certain experiences which have influenced the conduct of parliament subsequently. But I can say that, well, this Parliament has done fairly well, but there's a lot more that ought to be done. There are certain outstanding matters that really we all agreed would improve Parliament as an institution.
Like what?
Like the Parliamentary Training Institute.
And that's the second DMP, the outgoing second D Member of Parliament and lawyer proposed on. We'll go for a short break and we'll come back. Gary Asmith will join us with the latest from the world of sports. Stay with us.